Welcome back. This channel exists because of your support. Subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's get into the story. Let me tell you about the night my marriage almost ended. It started with 3 words that changed everything between my wife and me. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Rob, and I've been married to Amanda for 9 years. 9 years of what I thought was a decent partnership. We had a nice house in the Memorial area of Houston, good jobs, no kids yet, but planning for them someday. From the outside, we looked like we had it all figured out. The problem was what happened on the inside. Behind closed doors, our marriage had become something I didn't recognize anymore. It was a Thursday night in March. Nothing special about the day. We'd both gotten home from work around 6, made some pasta for dinner, watched an episode of that crime show Amanda liked. Normal married couple stuff. Around 10:30, we headed upstairs to bed. I remember lying there in the dark, listening to Amanda scroll through her phone. The blue light from the screen made shadows on the ceiling. I reached over and touched her shoulder. Just a gentle touch. The kind of touch that says, "Hey, I'm here. I see you. I want to connect." She didn't even look at me. I moved closer, ran my hand down her arm. Tried to be affectionate. Not aggressive, not demanding. Just present. Just wanting to be close to my own wife. Amanda pulled away like I'd burned her. "Do it yourself," she said, still staring at her phone. "I'm not in the mood." Those 3 words hung in the air between us. Do it yourself. Like I was asking her to take out the trash or pick up groceries. Like wanting to be intimate with my wife was some kind of chore she could delegate. I stopped moving. Stared at the ceiling. "You're never in the mood anymore. Because you always want something," she said, irritated now. "I'm tired. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Just handle it yourself." Handle it myself. As if physical connection with my spouse was something I should manage independently, like paying bills or mowing the lawn. I rolled over. Didn't say another word. But my mind was racing. Here's what most people don't understand about long marriages. It's not the big blowout fights that kill them. It's the accumulation of small dismissals. The pattern of rejections that builds up so slowly you don't notice until one day you realize you've been drowning for years. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay there doing mental math. When was the last time Amanda had initiated intimacy? Not just gone along with it when I tried, but actually wanted me first? I couldn't remember. 2 months ago? 3? Maybe longer? When was the last time she'd kissed me without me kissing her first? When was the last time she'd touched me just because she wanted to feel close? When was the last time she'd looked at me with actual desire instead of obligation? The answers to all those questions were the same. I honestly couldn't remember. Then my brain started making other connections. Things I hadn't put together before. Amanda always had energy for her friends. Could stay up until midnight texting with her sister Morgan or planning girls' brunches. Never too tired for that. Amanda had plenty of energy for shopping. Could spend 4 hours at the Galleria trying on clothes, coming home exhausted but happy. Never complained about being too drained for retail therapy. Amanda could scroll through social media for an hour every night, double-tapping photos and reading comments. Had all the energy in the world for that. But for me? For physical intimacy with her husband? She was always too tired. Always not in the mood. Always had an early meeting or a headache or ate too much dinner. And then I thought about something else. Something that had been bothering me for years, but I'd never quite articulated. Who handled everything in our household? I did. Who planned our social calendar, made restaurant reservations, coordinated with friends? I did. Who scheduled home repairs, dealt with the HOA, managed our streaming accounts? I did. Who researched vacations, booked flights, mapped out itineraries? I did. Who remembered to pay bills, set up auto payments, handled all the adulting? I did. What did Amanda contribute? She cooked sometimes, using groceries I'd bought from lists I created. She cleaned occasionally, though I did most of that too. She worked part-time at a boutique consultant job that brought in maybe 15% of our household income. Mostly, Amanda showed up to the life I'd built and enjoyed it. Like a guest in her own marriage. I lay there until 3 in the morning, adding it all up. The rejection of physical intimacy. The dependence on me for every practical aspect of our life. The expectation that I would handle everything while she contributed almost nothing. And then it hit me. She told me to do it myself when it came to my physical needs. But she expected me to do everything for her when it came to her practical needs. The hypocrisy was stunning once I saw it clearly. If I had to handle my intimate needs myself, Why was I handling all her life management needs for her? By the time sunlight started filtering through the curtains, I'd made a decision. I was going to use her exact words back at her. Every time she asked me to manage something for her, I was going to say exactly what she'd said to me. Do it yourself. I got up Friday morning and went through my usual routine. Shower, coffee, check my work email. Amanda came down around 7:15, already on her phone. Morning, she said absently. Morning. She poured coffee, added cream, scrolled through Instagram. Normal Friday morning. Then she looked up. Oh, can you call the landscaper today? The sprinkler system is doing that clicking thing again. I took a sip of my coffee, looked at her directly. No, I don't think I will. She blinked. What? I said no. I'm not calling the landscaper. But the sprinklers are broken. Then you should call them. Amanda stared at me like I'd started speaking French. But you have their number. You have all the account information. Do it yourself, I said, using her exact tone from last night. I'm not in the mood to handle things you're capable of handling. The confusion on her face was almost comical. She literally couldn't process what I was saying. This wasn't how our marriage worked. I handled things. That was my role. Are you serious right now? She asked. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me. I'm just applying your standard from last night. That's completely different. How? Because that's just how marriage works. You support each other. I almost laughed. Support each other. Like how you supported me last night when I tried to be close to my own wife. Color started draining from her face. She was beginning to understand that something had shifted, but she didn't know what yet. Look, she said, switching to what I called her reasonable voice. The one she used when she thought she could logic her way out of something. Last night was different. I was tired from work. You know how stressed I've been lately. Right, I said. And today I'm stressed about household management. Amazing how that works. She stared at me for a long moment, then grabbed her purse. I don't have time for this. I have to get to work. The landscaper's number is on the business card on the fridge. I called after her. Should be pretty easy to dial. The door slammed behind her. I sat there with my coffee, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Clarity. Like I'd been holding my breath for so long I'd forgotten what oxygen felt like. Around 2:30 that afternoon, my phone buzzed. Text from Amanda. Can you grab stuff for dinner tonight? I left work early to meet Kelly for coffee. I typed back 3 words. Do it yourself. My phone rang immediately. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I answered this time. What is going on with you today? Her voice was high, stressed. Just treating our partnership the way you've been treating it. This is ridiculous. Are you really going to be petty about one comment I made? One comment after 3 years of a pattern, I said calmly. Amanda, when's the last time you initiated intimacy with me? Silence. When's the last time you kissed me first? Touched me because you wanted to, not because I reached for you first? More silence. I'll tell you when. I can't remember. It's been so long I genuinely cannot remember. But I bet you can tell me exactly when the last time was that you asked me to handle something for you. That's not fair. No, it's not fair. It hasn't been fair for years. So here's the new arrangement. When you're in the mood to be intimate with me, I'll be in the mood to manage things for you. When you're not, I won't be either. You can't be serious. Do it yourself, Amanda. Figure out dinner on your own. I hung up. She came home around 7 with Thai takeout. Barely looked at me. I was reading on the couch. She microwaved her food and took it to the bedroom. Around 9, she came back down. I could tell she'd been rehearsing what to say. We need to talk about today. Okay. She sat down, folded her hands like she was about to deliver a presentation. I think you're upset about last night, and I understand. I should have been more considerate of your feelings. Note that she said more considerate of your feelings, not I should have been more intimate, or I should have wanted to connect with you. Just feelings. Like the problem was emotional, not practical. And I asked, and I'm sorry if I hurt you, but refusing to help me with basic household things isn't the answer. That's just being vindictive. How many times have you rejected me in the last 3 months? She looked uncomfortable. I don't keep count. I do. 23 times. 23 times I've tried to be physically close to you, and 23 times you've pushed me away or made an excuse or told me you're too tired. I've been stressed. And how many times in those same 3 months have you asked me to handle something for you? To call someone, schedule something, plan something, fix something, manage something? She didn't answer. I'm guessing around 100 times. At least. So let me ask you something. Why is it okay for you to reject what I need 23 times, but it's vindictive for me to reject what you need even once? Amanda opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Those are different things. They're both needs. They're both ways of contributing to a marriage. You want me to contribute to your practical life. I want you to contribute to our intimate life. The only difference is you think your needs matter and mine don't. She stood up. I can't do this right now. I'm going to bed. Alone. She looked at me like I'd slapped her. Are you seriously using sex as a weapon right now? No. I'm asking if you're going to bed alone. Because for 3 years, that's effectively what we've been doing. Sleeping in the same bed, but living separate lives. She left the room without answering. Saturday was interesting. Amanda tried to act like nothing was wrong. She got up early, made breakfast, was chatty and pleasant. Like if she just pretended Thursday and Friday hadn't happened, we'd go back to normal. Around 10, she came into the living room where I was reading news on my phone. Hey, she said, using that sweet voice she employed when she needed something. I was thinking about hitting that sale at Nordstrom today. Could use some new spring clothes. She didn't directly ask for money. She never did. She'd paint a picture of why she needed something and expect me to just hand over the credit card like I always did. I looked up from my phone. Have fun. She waited. I went back to reading. So, can I take your card? Mine's almost maxed. Why would I give you my card? Because you always do? You've been paying off my card every month anyway. I always do a lot of things. Doesn't mean I always will. Her pleasant mask cracked slightly. Rob, this is getting old. What do you want from me? I want you to be an equal partner in this marriage. I am. You contribute about 5% to household management and maybe 5% to our intimate life. That's not equal, Amanda. That's me carrying you. I work too. 20 hours a week at a consulting job that barely covers your car payment. Meanwhile, I work 50 hours a week and come home to manage every single aspect of our household because you've never learned how. That's not true. I do plenty around here. Name one thing you managed this week without my involvement. She thought about it. I watched her mentally go through the week. Couldn't come up with anything. That's what I thought, I said. She sat down heavily. What do you want me to do? Suddenly become someone I'm not. I want you to become an adult who contributes to her own life. And I want you to want your own husband more than once a month. That afternoon, my college friend Dean was flying in from Atlanta. I'd been working on plans for his visit for weeks, researching restaurants, checking Astro's schedules, looking into brewery tours. But I hadn't actually booked anything yet. After Thursday night's rejection, I stopped planning entirely. Let Amanda handle it. Around 1, Amanda started getting anxious. What time does Dean get in? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He's your friend. I didn't plan his visit. I stopped planning Thursday night. After what you said, I decided you could handle it yourself. Her eyes went wide. Rob, he lands in like an hour. We don't have anything arranged. Then I guess you should text him and figure it out. But I don't know what to plan. Where are we supposed to take him? What are we doing? Whatever you decide. I'm sure you'll figure it out. She grabbed her phone, frantically scrolling. I could see her texting Dean, probably apologizing and scrambling to make restaurant reservations. Everything was booked because it was Saturday evening and she was trying to book same day. She ended up getting us into some chain restaurant in Katy. Not terrible, but nothing like the experience I would have arranged. Papado with reservations, maybe Astros tickets if they were home, a brewery tour Sunday afternoon. The kind of weekend that would have made a visitor feel welcome. Instead, Dean got awkward tension and mediocre food. He could tell something was wrong. Kept looking between us during dinner, trying to figure out the dynamic. Amanda was overcompensating, being too chatty, too enthusiastic. I was pleasantly detached, engaging when Dean asked me questions, but not driving the conversation. When we got home that night, Dean went to the guest room and Amanda cornered me in the kitchen. This is so embarrassing, she hissed. Dean knows something's wrong. Then maybe you should have taken some initiative. I stopped planning after Thursday night. One time I didn't want to help plan something, and you're going to punish me forever? It's not one time. It's 9 years. Thursday night was just when I finally heard it clearly. She started crying then. Real tears, not manipulative ones. I can't believe you're humiliating me in front of your friends. I'm not humiliating you. You're handling things yourself. That's what you told me to do with my needs. Now you're doing the same with yours. You're being cruel. No, I'm being exactly as unavailable as you've been. How does it feel? She didn't answer, just went to bed. Sunday, Dean left after brunch. Amanda had pulled together a passable brunch at home since she couldn't get a restaurant reservation. Dean hugged us both goodbye, but I saw the way he looked at me. That, we need to talk later look. The moment his Uber pulled away, Amanda turned on me. Are you happy now? You've made your point. Can we go back to normal? What's normal? I asked. Me doing everything while you contribute nothing? That normal? I contribute. I cook, I clean. You cook sometimes using groceries I buy from lists I make. You clean occasionally, but I do most of it. What you really do is show up to the life I've built and enjoy it. That's not fair. Then tell me, what percentage of household planning and management do you handle? She didn't answer. And what percentage of initiating intimacy? Still nothing. That's what I thought. Over the next week, Amanda tried every tactic in the book. She tried charm, making my favorite dinner and acting sweet. Tried tears, crying about how stressed she was. Tried guilt, telling me I was being a bad husband. And tried enlisting help, starting with her mother. Her mother Patricia called me on Monday evening. Rob, honey, Amanda tells me you two are having some troubles. Did she tell you what the trouble is? She said you're upset about something and refusing to help her with household things. Did she mention that for 3 years she's been rejecting physical intimacy with me while expecting me to manage every aspect of her life? Patricia was quiet for a moment. Well, Amanda's never been very organized. You knew that when you married her. I did. What I didn't know was that not very organized meant we'll never even try. There's a difference between struggling with something and refusing to attempt it. Marriage is about accepting each other's weaknesses, Rob. It's also about both people contributing their strengths. What has Amanda been contributing? No answer to that. I think you're being very harsh on her. I think I'm being exactly as harsh as she's been on me. She told me to handle my physical needs myself. So now she can handle her practical needs herself. I heard Patricia sigh. I hope you know what you're doing. So do I. Tuesday morning, Amanda announced she was going to stay with her sister Morgan for a few days. Why? I asked. Because I need space to think. And because you clearly don't want me here. That's not true, isn't it? You won't help me with anything. You barely talk to me. You look at me like I'm a burden. You've been a burden, I said honestly. But that doesn't mean I don't want you here. I just want you to be different here. I don't know how to be different. Then maybe some time apart will help you figure it out. She packed a bag and left within an hour. The next few days were strange. The house was quiet, but not lonely. I handled my own routine effortlessly, because I'd always handled it. Made my own meals, kept the place clean, went to work, came home, read, watched what I wanted on TV. One evening, I found myself researching divorce attorneys online. Not because I decided to end things, but because I needed to know I had options. I saved several links in my browser history, a reminder that I was willing to walk away if nothing changed. It was peaceful in a way I'd forgotten was possible. Dean called Wednesday evening. Man, what's going on? That weekend was rough. Remember how I used to complain that Amanda never helped plan anything? Never initiated intimacy? Yeah, you mentioned it a few times. Well, Thursday night she told me to do it myself when I tried to be close to her. So I decided to apply that same standard. When she asks me to handle something, I tell her to do it herself. Holy shit. That's bold. It's fair. She doesn't get to reject what I need and expect me to provide what she needs. How's she taking it? She's at her sister's. Probably having a breakdown. And you? How are you doing? I thought about it. Better than I have in years, honestly. I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying, trying to manage everything while being rejected constantly. So what happens now? Either she learns to be a partner, or she doesn't. If she doesn't, then we both know what happens next. Thursday morning, I got a text from Amanda's sister Morgan. She's a mess. Cries constantly. Can't believe this is happening. I texted back. She's experiencing what it feels like to not have someone manage your life for you. It's called being an adult. Harsh, Rob. Honest. Friday evening, Amanda asked to meet for coffee. I suggested Catalina Coffee in the Heights. Met her there at 7. She looked terrible. Exhausted, like she hadn't slept. But there was something different in her eyes. Something I hadn't seen before. I've been staying with Morgan and Kyle, she said after we sat down. I know. Watching them made me realize something. What? I don't know how to be a partner. I only know how to be taken care of. That was more honest than anything she'd said in years. My parents did everything for me, she continued. Then you did everything for me. I've never actually had to manage my own life. And I prompted. And I'm scared, because I don't know if I can learn how. What do you want, Amanda? I want to come home. I want to fix this. On what terms? Your terms. She said it quietly, like admitting defeat. What does that mean exactly? I talked to Morgan about how she and Kyle manage their household, how they both contribute. She asked me when the last time was that I initiated physical affection with you. Not sex, just touching you, kissing you, being close. She was crying now. I couldn't remember, Rob. I literally could not remember the last time I reached for you just because I wanted to be close to you. And that's not who I want to be. I waited. I've been treating you like a servant and rejecting you like you're a stranger. You're my husband, and I've been treating you worse than I'd treat anyone else. What are you proposing? I called a therapist, made us an appointment for next week. I want to try again. I want to learn how to be a real partner. In every way. Why should I believe you? Because I spent these last few days watching what a real partnership looks like. Morgan and Kyle both plan things. Both handle things. Both initiate affection. They're actually married, not just roommates who share a bed. She reached across the table, took my hand. I let her, but I didn't squeeze back. I know I've hurt you. I know I've been selfish and lazy and dismissive. I can't promise I'll be perfect, but I can promise I'll try. The next 3 months were hard. Amanda came home that weekend. We had our first therapy session the following Tuesday, and Dr. Hendricks immediately assigned her what he called adult life skills development. Basic things she should have known how to do years ago. She scheduled her own dentist appointment, called the appliance repair guy when the dishwasher broke, planned a dinner party for friends, handling the menu and timeline herself, set up auto-pay for her bills, made her own hair appointments without me reminding her. It was clumsy at first. She called the wrong dentist office, had to call back, got a bad quote on the dishwasher repair, and I had to gently suggest she get a second opinion. Her dinner party timeline was off and food came out at weird intervals. But she tried. That was the difference. She asked for advice, not for me to do it for her. And the physical intimacy came back. Slowly, awkwardly at first. She initiated a morning kiss before work, sent me a flirty text during the day, sat close to me on the couch during movies, made the first move at night. It wasn't perfect. She still slipped sometimes. Still said, "Can you just?" Then caught herself. Still pulled away when she was tired, then remembered and came back. But she was trying. In one of our early therapy sessions, Dr. Hendricks asked her what she'd learned. That Rob's been doing the work of 2 people for 9 years, Amanda said, looking at me, managing everything and being the only one who tries to keep us connected. And I've been taking advantage of him in every way possible. Can you tell Rob that directly? She turned to me, tears in her eyes. I've been taking advantage of you. For our entire marriage. I expected you to handle my life while I contributed nothing. Not to our household, not to our intimacy, not to our partnership. I'm sorry. It was the first apology that felt real. About 2 months into our reconciliation, Amanda took over planning our anniversary trip for late May. I'd already started the research on New Orleans hotels, but she took over. Created comparison spreadsheets for restaurants. Mapped out activities and tours. Budgeted our spending. When I saw how much effort she put in, how much she cared about making it special, something in me softened. This is really good, I told her, looking at her planning documents. It took me like 8 hours, she said. I had no idea how much work you put into our vacations. Now you know. I'm sorry I never appreciated it before. A few weeks before our anniversary, on Memorial Day weekend, Amanda hosted a spring dinner party. She'd been planning it for weeks, wanting to prove she could pull off something ambitious. She planned the whole thing. Menu, decorations, timeline, guest list. I helped with heavy lifting and setup, but she directed everything. The meal wasn't perfect. The timing was a little off. The dessert came out before everyone was ready. But it was good. And more importantly, she'd done it. Her mother Patricia pulled me aside while Amanda was in the kitchen. I can't believe she pulled this off. She's more capable than you gave her credit for. Patricia looked guilty. We didn't do her any favors, did we? Always doing everything for her. No, but she's learning now. That night, after everyone left, Amanda and I sat on the back porch. She was exhausted but satisfied. That was hard, she admitted. But you did it. I really wanted to ask you to take over about 6 times. I know. I could see it on your face. Why didn't you offer? Because you needed to prove to yourself that you could do it. She leaned against me. I still mess up a lot. In both areas. Both areas? The practical stuff and the intimacy stuff. I catch myself pulling away sometimes. Or asking you to handle things I should handle myself. But you catch yourself. That's progress. Do you forgive me? For the 9 years? I thought about it. I'm working on it. Are you going to keep trying? Every day. Late May, we took our anniversary trip to New Orleans. The city was hot and humid, everything smelling like fried food and spilled beer and flowers. We walked through the French Quarter, ate beignets at Café du Monde, took the Garden District tour Amanda had researched. In our hotel room one evening, we were reviewing the next day's itinerary. So tomorrow we have breakfast at that place you found, then the cemetery tour, then lunch at Commander's Palace, Amanda said, scrolling through her notes. You did good research on these places. I actually enjoyed it. Planning this together. She moved closer, took my hand. Rob, I'm sorry it took me so long to understand. We have time to make up for it. She kissed me. Not tentatively, not obligatorily. Like she wanted to. Like she'd missed me. Thank you for not giving up on me, she said. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. On us. You know what I realized? When I started contributing to our life, I started wanting to be close to you again. Like the two things are connected. They are, I said. Partnership creates intimacy. Resentment kills it. I created so much resentment. And now you're creating partnership. That's what matters. 9 months ago, my wife told me to do it myself when I tried to be physically intimate with her. It was the last straw after 3 years of declining intimacy and 9 years of one-sided household management. So I used her words back. If she wasn't in the mood to connect with me physically, I wasn't in the mood to manage her life practically. What she didn't understand at first was that I wasn't punishing her. I was showing her the parallel. She could dismiss my need for physical connection with do-it-yourself, but then expected me to handle every practical aspect of her life. She had energy for everything except being my wife in the bedroom. I had been giving in every other area while getting nothing in return. By forcing her to manage her own life, I gave her a glimpse of what it felt like to be constantly rejected. Every time she asked me to handle something, and I said, do it yourself, she felt what I'd been feeling for 3 years every time I reached for her and got pushed away. Our friends sometimes ask me if things are back to normal. I tell them no, they're better than normal. Because normal was broken. Normal was me being her personal assistant with no physical relationship. Normal was slowly killing our marriage. Now we both contribute to household management and to physical intimacy. We're actually partners in every sense. She still slips sometimes. Gets too tired for physical intimacy, but expects me to handle household tasks. But now when I point out the parallel, she sees it. Apologizes. Makes an effort. That's the difference. And it all started because I finally said the words she'd said to me. Do it yourself. Sometimes the only way to save a marriage is to show someone what they've been doing to you. When she realized that both intimacy and household management were do-it-yourself requirements in our house, her mood shifted from dismissive to engaged. I kept those divorce attorney links in my browser history for months. Not as a threat, but as a reminder that I'd been willing to walk away if nothing changed. That willingness is what made the change possible. Respect in marriage can't be one-sided. Sometimes you have to demand it. And sometimes demanding it means using someone's own words to show them what they've been doing to you. Do it yourself saved my marriage. Because it forced both of us to see the parallel between emotional rejection and practical rejection. Between taking someone for granted and being taken for granted. Amanda learned to contribute, to plan, to manage, to handle her own adult life. But more importantly, she learned to want me again, to reach for me, to be present in our intimacy, not just our household. And I learned that enabling someone's dependence isn't love. It's slow-motion suffocation for both of you. We're 9 months into this new version of our marriage now. It's not perfect. She still has moments where she asks me to handle something, then catches herself. Still has nights where she's genuinely tired, and I have to remind myself that not every rejection is a dismissal. But we're building something real now. Not a one-sided arrangement where I give and she takes. A partnership where we both show up. Both contribute. Both try. Last week, Amanda planned an entire weekend for us. Concert tickets, dinner reservations, a Sunday hike in Memorial Park. She mapped it all out, coordinated everything, made it happen. When I thanked her, she said something that stuck with me. For 9 years, you gave me a beautiful life. You planned everything, managed everything, made everything easy for me. And I thought that was love. But it wasn't. It was you burning yourself out while I coasted. And now, I asked. Now we're building a life together. And that's actual love. She's right. That's the thing nobody tells you about marriage. It's easy to coast when someone else is doing the work. It's easy to take and take and take when someone keeps giving. But eventually, the giver burns out. Eventually, the taker looks around and realizes they've been alone in a relationship the whole time, just too comfortable to notice. Do it yourself was the wake-up call my wife needed. The mirror that showed her what she'd been doing. The boundary that forced her to grow. And it was the boundary I needed to set to save myself. Our marriage isn't perfect now, but it's real. It's reciprocal. It's worth showing up for. Because both of us are finally showing up. Not just physically present. Actually engaged. Actually contributing. Actually trying. That's what partnership means. Not one person doing 95% while the other coasts on 5%. Both people bringing their full selves to the relationship. Both people meeting each other's needs, not just expecting their own needs to be met. 3 words changed everything between us. Do it yourself. Sometimes the hardest thing to say to someone you love is the thing they most need to hear. Sometimes saving a marriage means being willing to lose it. Sometimes the only way forward is to stop going backward. Amanda knows that now. I know that now. And our marriage is stronger for it. Because we're both finally in it. Together. Equally. Actually married. Not just cohabitating with a dependent on one side and a resentful caretaker on the other. Do it yourself saved us. By forcing us both to do the work of being partners instead of falling into the trap of being provider and dependent. By showing us that contribution matters in every area of marriage, not just the areas we find convenient. By teaching us that respect, effort, and reciprocity aren't optional in a partnership. They're the foundation. And without them, you don't have a marriage. You have an arrangement. An unequal, unsustainable arrangement that eventually collapses under the weight of resentment. We almost collapsed. We came within days of ending it. But we didn't. Because sometimes the right words at the right time can change everything. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.